What's good, Dcuo? It's your boy Force Destroyer here with another video. I'm gonna keep this one really short and simple. I'm gonna get right to the point. Another scrim I got into recently, basically a 2v1. Let me tell you guys what happened and let me put in my 2 cents on it. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not one to do that. I'm just gonna, go by my own rules and regulations. Just a heads up, anybody who wants to scrim or just do friendly PvP for me from now on, if you challenge me to a 1v1, you can't bring somebody in with you. If I see more than one person in the instance, then I'm not gonna do it. It's every time now. I haven't had a 1v1 fair in like forever, almost now. Um, Again, with the healer bias, this is the last time I'm gonna touch on this. Then I'm moving on. I'm just ignoring it. Not gonna dwell on it. Look at this guy. You see that green light coming around him and the green shield, and see the lightning bolt underneath his name? He's getting POT, instant power, supercharged power bubble, and also I'm getting block broken from his friend. He's getting a precision buff from his friend. You'll see his guy when I turn the camera angle later. It's basically a 2v1. You see, I'll be taking damage when he's not hitting me, and we can both be blocking. I'll be getting block broken. He's got POT up, and he's getting instant power from his friend. It's, essentially a 2v1. I'm getting ganked. So, a lot of DPS or whatnot will make this excuse. Oh, you're in healer role. I don't fight healers. Healers are unfair. You know what I've seen to notice? They all make this assumption or they make this excuse whenever they start losing. You notice nobody ever complains when they're winning? Again, why do people only jump to this, this complaint whenever they start losing? But whenever they're winning, they don't say anything about it. Why is it that people will say, I don't scrim or I don't fight or duel against healers or tanks, but at the beginning of the match, if that's what you stand by, if you don't go up against support roles at the beginning of the match, when you see a person in a support role, or when you challenge a person and you know their support role, why don't you say something then? Why do you wait until you start losing to then start complaining and making excuses? Seems a little fishy to me, right? A lot of people, they'll see, oh, this guy's a healer or this guy's a tank or whatever, and they'll go in and fight, and if they're winning, they won't say anything. But whenever, as soon as they start losing, it's an excuse. It's like, if this is your rule, you don't go up against support roles from the start. When you see that somebody's in a support role, you should stop before the match if it begins. Hey, yo, I'm not doing this. You're a support role. Go DPS or whatever. Okay. It's the same excuse every time. If you can read the versus chat, you can see it. His friend is justifying them ganking me because since I'm a healer and my power damages while it heals, that justifies him giving him POT, instant power, block breaking me, giving out precision buffs and everything. I think I started recording this one late because I thought it was going to be a legit 1v1 match. I saw that he had a buddy in there with him, so I brought somebody in here with me to be a witness. And then he told me, oh, the other guy's he's in support role, giving the guy POT. So then he went, support role and tried to give me POT, but he doesn't have any controller gear or whatever, so it didn't really work out that way. It was just a really, really messed up 2v1 scrim. So this person that I'm fighting is a hero. He's hard light, fully geared, with all precision and power 8s. I'm gonna say that one more time. This person I'm fighting is a hero. He is hard light power and he is fully geared, precision and power 8. Not 7, not 6 experts, 8. Yes, the new 8 mods that just came out like 2 weeks ago with a tier 8. Yeah, this guy has all 8 mods in his gear. So a lot of people seem to complain that tanks, healers are so overpowered. Let me ask you guys this question. If tanks and healers are so overpowered and they got such a excuse me, they have such an unfair advantage over DPS, then why is 99% of the Dcuo PvP community still DPS? Again, let me ask this one more time. If healers and tanks are so overpowered and have such an unfair advantage, why is 99% of the Dcuo PvP community still DPS? Because DPS are still the supreme role in the most biased or favored roles in the Dcuo game than any other role is. Why? They can burn and they can melt through the support role support abilities. Back in the day when things were even, back 4 years ago, before weapon mastery, before they got rid of role advantages and disadvantages, before they took out the role specific gear, support roles had certain advantages. You saw a lot of support roles. Everyone you fought was not a DPS. You fought plenty of healers, you fought plenty of trolls, you fought lots of tanks as well. You also fought a fair amount of DPS, but it was more like 35 to maybe 40% of the community were DPS. More than half of the PvPers that you ran into back in the day were a support role. The game is not like that anymore. It's DPS bias, it's DPS favored. It's starting to give a little bit back to the support roles. The last thing they need to implement is a removal of the stat caps and then role specific gear that will be back to those old days maybe. But as of right now, DPS still have the upper hand. I have yet ever until this time seen a hard light person complain that another power was more overpowered than theirs. This guy's hard light, full precision, full power 8, full precision to power 8 with hard light. But you say that somebody else's power has an advantage over yours because they do a little bit of healing back and do less than, you do 3 times more damage than they do with your combos, and they do a little bit of healing back, but they have an advantage. And your hard light, any experienced PvPer knows that hard light is a pretty insanely hard hitting PvP power. It's almost one of the most perfect DPS PvP powers you can pick on this game. So, anyways, people say when you cheese, you use healing powers or tank powers. No, this is how you cheese. You go into scrims, 2v2s, you go into scrim and do 2v1s, ganking people, jumping people, trying to cheat, do slick stuff like that. That's how you cheese, not support roles, okay? If you lose to somebody who is a support role, they're probably just better than you in the game. I'm going to be honest, and I'm not trying to be cocky, and a lot of people on this game who's been playing a long time, a lot of people are cool with me. Some people have beef, or whatever, they have beef with the league. A lot of people don't have beef with me, and a lot of people are really cool with me because I'm a really chill, laid-back dude. I'm just going to keep it real. I don't take this game as, life or whatever, but I have played it, put enough time and effort in it over the years to where I've gotten somewhat skilled at it. If I'm beating you in my current heal role, if I focus and put all of my mods expecting DPS, the outcome would still be the same. The outcome will still be the same. It's not heals or tanks and stuff like that. No. You can go to PvP Tournament Elite 1 when I was a DPS for the little short amount of time back then and was knocking people out. It's the same thing. A lot of people want to make excuses whenever they start losing. It's not the role, it's the skill aspect of the game. I've been putting time and effort into being the healer over all this time for, support role purposes. So I'm just good at that. Not the best PvPer. By far, I'm not the best. It's just, I don't know. It's just a little bit frustrating. I'm not upset about it anymore. From now on, anyone who wants to scrim or play against me in PvP, if you want to do a 1v1, you have to queue up by yourself. If I see you have someone else in your group, I'm not going to accept the scrim. Because it seems like it's like the 5th time that I've, someone invited me to a scrimmage, and then I get in there, and then they don't say anything at the start. And then if they get the first couple kills on me, everything's all good and gravy. Then if I go the next 5 or 6 kills back to back on them, it's like, oh wow, no, you're a healer. This isn't fair now. It's like, what? So I'm not gonna dwell on this. This is gonna be the last video I touch on this because I won't have this issue again. I'm not doing any more scrims or 1v1s where people have multiple people in the group. I know there's a lot of subscribers or friends of people like that that are cool with me and say, hey, yo, let's do a friendly scrim or whatnot. Nothing against you guys, but these other people are messing it up. If you want to do that, you have to queue up by yourself. And that's just the way it is because this is getting out of hand. It's just crazy. That takes the fun out of the game. You going for a 1v1 scrim, and then somebody else is giving the other guy power out, and it turns to a 2v1. His friend's damage out was almost as high, as just as much as his, and his friend was supposedly watching, quotes, watching the scrim, not participating in it. But yet you got like 6 digits in damage out. So it's just a shame how the community has got to that point. Not everyone's like that. Don't let a couple of bad apples spoil the whole barrel. Um, but yeah, that's crazy. That's how you cheese. 2v1s, 3v1s. You know, if you already have an extremely hard hitting power and you're fully modded with 8 mods in there, you pretty much have no excuse. But whatever. So anyways, I just had a video on this one, how to cheese in Dcuo. Some people say, "I'll pick this healing power or go fire tank." No, I've posted videos on how to beat both healers and fire tanks. Bring a friend in there with you, have your buddy give you POT, and have another friend give you heals and precision buffs and block break the enemy, and you guys secretly gank the guy while pretending it's a 1v1. That's how you cheese. So yeah. And one other thing I want to point out, Mr. Let's something to say about this, and I'm just in this video and be done with this topic for good. For those of you like OG players who played this game back in the day a long time ago, if you remember 4 years ago, back before they took away role advantage and disadvantage, role specific gear was still in, and for weapon mastery, before the game was biased, the game was like 60% support roles of what you ran into with in PvP. Be mixed between healers, trolls, and tanks, and like 40% of the PvP community was DPS. Like now it's 99%. It's like 40% back then. You didn't have this. It was just, it was a skill aspect. A lot of these players today that just think, they just want to go to a specific power because it hits hard, put all mods in it, and then complain if they don't get their way, if they lose. They would not have made it back in the Dcuo golden days, back when skill was a highly valued aspect in the game. They would not have made it. Because a lot of the good PvPers, a lot of them are left. A few of them are still around, but a lot of them left. But a lot of them were around in that day, and you saw people that were really skilled at this game, really good at anticipation. There was no excuses. People bow before the after the fight. Good fight. There was none of the trash talking or the toxic environment that is now in PvP. So it's just terrible. But yeah, so that's how you cheese in PvP. If you're a DPS and you only want to go up against DPS, make sure you specify that to your opponent beforehand, or when you first get in a fight and see that they're a support role. Don't wait till you lose and then start making excuses. And by the way, take note. Again, take note. A lot of the good PvPers don't make excuses when they fight against a support role. They'll still win regardless. 99% of the PvP community is DPS because 99% of the time you guys queue up 1v1s and you fought against healers and tanks that you guys have beaten. If healers and tanks were so unbeatable, a lot of these people would be healers and tanks. You wouldn't see a lot of DPS because healers and tanks have that unfair advantage. A lot of these people are staying DPS because they know DPS has the highest chance to win in matches, and they've won in matches as DPS. It's just when they do go up against another good player, someone who's better than them, they find excuses to why they lost. And if there happen to be a support role, that's the excuse they use. If it's another DPS power, oh, you're this DPS power, your power hits hard, your rage, your mental, you're this. Stop making excuses. Get good. Practice your craft. Learn the game in the combat dynamics, and let that be that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. I'm done with this topic. Until next time.